Hi, friends. Yesterday was a hard day for me physically, so that is why I was putting up a video with no dialogue whatsoever because physically it was just rough. My duties as a mom and, filling the role that I fill in our home took all the bandwidth I had, all the mental bandwidth, all of it. And if it's possible to take more than all of it, that's how it felt. So, yes, I still was able to put some crafting in my day. In fact, on days where I have a hard time physically, I wouldn't say I get more knitting done on those days, but I still do often knit because it's something that soothes my soul. What is it Elizabeth Zimmer says? It's good for the troubled spirit and doesn't hurt the untroubled spirit at all. Knitting. I always get that quote wrong. I should probably actually memorize it if I like it so much. But today was busy because I was painting my sister-in-law's bathroom. She needed some help with that, and she offered to watch my 4 kids and her 4 kids at the same time. She took them outside and let them be in swimsuits in this slip and slide with the hose and popsicles, and they had a lovely time. While I also had a lovely time painting and finishing the Knit One Kill Two book, which I was trying out. It's not really my thing. I'm not really into the cozy mystery thing. I get it. I get I get why people like it. It's very cute. I like it for what it is. Cozy and murder don't really go together in my head, so it's a little hard for me to, get it, but that's okay. But I finished it, and that means I get to cross off one of the bingo squares on my family's reading bingo challenge. So that's great. I'm still nowhere near bingo. All of the books that I've been reading are not in line, like they're not anywhere on there at all. Not even close. They're strange choices, I guess, because I've just been not paying attention to where the bingo X's are going to be at all. But I think at this point I am going to start choosing some books based on what will get me a bingo. So, I'm going to get a sandwich, my favorite sandwich, and head home. My husband is, he's been doing bedtime at our house more than usual. I'm usually the bedtime captain at our house because he, in the past, has worked a lot of evenings and things. Now he has a job where he doesn't have to do that, and that's really, really nice. So he is, definitely bedtime support, but I've always been bedtime captain at our house, and he's had to be bedtime captain for, I would say, 4 out of 7 evenings, the past week or so. Either because I fell asleep and was so beyond, or because I was out doing something like today. I had an appointment this evening after I finished painting, so I dropped off the kids and went to my appointment, and now I'm going to get my sandwich and go home and see if I can make it in time for doing bedtime routine things. I think the kids would like that. They are partial to me, and it's very nice to be needed. Some days I wish there was a different dynamic, but mostly it's nice to be needed. So the only thing I've been working on today so far has been this sock. my Van Gogh sock. I keep putting little bits into it, right? Socks and any other knitting thing is just finished one stitch at a time. So I need to do 50 rounds before I start my ball of the foot slip stitch tread heavy detail. And I'm only at what, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this little guy is just, I know that I want to get it past 20 because that's usually when I'm going to be done with my gusset decreases, and then I don't need to worry so much about where I'm at and what I'm doing. I can just take care of the stitch pattern on the front and stockinette on the bottom, of course, and you know, of course, also the rounds get smaller, but the middle of the foot, for some reason, is always the point in time that I am less motivated to do a sock, even though if I'm doing them cuff down, which I do almost every time. I've done some toe-up socks, and those are fun. But for myself, I almost always do cuff down, heel flap, and gusset socks. I've got a really stellar sock recipe for myself for it. And that's what I do every time, almost. And at that point, once I'm done with the gusset decreases, you would think I'd be like, yes, and now I can just finish the foot. But for some reason, that part is annoying to me, that I have to get through the foot before I can do the slip stitch detail and then the toe. I'm always very motivated once I get to the slip stitch detail because it's very close to the toe, and you know, of course that means I'm almost done. But I'm realizing that just means I just need to get through 30 rounds. That's all I need to do, is get through 30 rounds of 64 stitches, and that's not that bad. That's not that much. But sometimes when I get to that point, I have to break it down pretty significantly. I'll just do like 10 rounds a day or even less, because I want it to be finished. I just don't want to have to finish it. But then everything changes once I get those 30 rounds done. I'm always so excited once I get those done. So I'm trying to find a way that I can enjoy each part of the sock. And that part seems to be the one that I'm struggling with, or have been struggling with for pretty much years now. And I'm trying to figure out if there's a way, like, part of it is just telling yourself the truth, right? I used to think like, oh, there's so much left. And there's really not. There's really not. Obviously over halfway there. The rounds are smaller since the gusset decreases are done. And it's just that I'm, I think, disinterested because it's not as fun. There isn't as much going on, right? I'm just going round and round. But knowing that it's only 30 rounds has really helped me a lot. And even if it were 50 rounds or whatever, I would, it is 50 total, but after the gusset decreases, it's usually like 30. But even if it were more, just knowing what I have to accomplish instead of it being like this mystery and I keep measuring and I really hate that. You've heard me talk about that before. If you've been around for a minute, I don't do well with projects I can't track very well. So speaking of projects to track, I finished 2 centimeters on the twisted rib on the cardigan. So that means I need to do 3 more centimeters. It is, because I was working on it, a lot yesterday, it is hurting my hands a little bit, and so I'm trying to be aware of that and not be stupid, but I also just want to get it done. So I think I'm gonna try and do another 2 centimeters tonight, but we will see. I think I just need to get it, I just need to start it, right? Like with me it's always the starting of the things that I need to do, because usually I'll get focused in and finish it, but it's always the starting. Okay, I'm gonna stop knitting this sock now. Go get my sandwich and do it. Has come down, as he normally does, to ask if he can sleep down here with me. I'm about to go put him back in bed. He's fallen asleep on the couch. But I am only 1.5 centimeters away from finishing this body. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, guys. Oh, so great. The goal is to get it done as soon as I can tomorrow, because I actually do have an at-home day tomorrow. I don't think I'm lying to you this time. Last time I said I haven't had an at-home day, I had like 2 errands to run, which took up a significant part of the day. But anyway, this body could be done tomorrow, like even before the end of the day. I picked up the sleeve for this side, which is great. I've already finished a repeat for this, which means I only have 5 more to do before I would do the cuff. That's one of the nice things about drop shoulder cardigans and jumpers also, is that jumpers, sweaters, that part of your, sleeve is essentially done with the body. So you don't have to knit as far for the sleeves, because you've already done more width in this area than you would normally do. Say with a like a set-in sleeve, or of course with raglans, you're also, you're doing a large portion of the sleeve shoulder situation before you do the sleeve split as well. But for some reason, these drop shoulder ones seem even shorter than the raglan ones. I picked up this because the twisted rib is hurting my hands, and so I'm trying not to overdo anything. When I'm knitting towards a deadline, sometimes I do overdo it, and then I'm frustrated because I have to chill out, and sometimes I have to chill out before I've even reached the deadline. So I actually kind of shoot myself in the foot that way. So I figured if I picked up the sleeve, then I would be still working on finishing the sweater, even if I had to switch from the full twisted rib for a minute. So what I often do when I'm struggling to get through a project because it's, not treating my hands well, I'll work on a different project for a while, and I'll like limit myself to, however many rows before I started feeling it in my hands the time before, so that I don't damage my hands. But I also, with this project, I don't really want to be taking up my time with another project in between. So I figured even if I need to take a break every row and work on the sleeve for a minute, then I'm still working towards I'm still working towards the completion of the sweater, instead of doing a row of this, giving my hands a break and doing something else, doing a row of this, instead I'm doing a row on the body and a few rows here. And this is a half twisted rib, so it's not as hard on my hands at all. In fact, the 1.5 centimeters on the bottom should be the last time I have to do any twisted purls until I reach, I'm assuming that the wrist cuffs match. So that may be the part that is a little tricky for me. Well, I do love this yarn. I keep picking some vegetable matter out of it, but it's so good. It's so good. I love it so much. And I think I'm definitely going to have enough to do the whole thing in this yarn. Now, I'm not very good at gauging how much I need for a button band. The last time I did it, I think this one's a double knit button band. And the last time I did a double knit button band, I definitely underestimated how much I would need by like 25, 35 grams. So hopefully that's not going to be the case here. I just added the 5th 50-gram cake to the body. So I'm using just over 200 grams for the body, but I had 10 50-gram hanks. So I should have 300 grams for the sleeves and the button band, which I think is going to be just fine. I think. I'm going to, obviously find out. But worst case scenario, the button band will be a different color than the rest. I was thinking about doing the button band first, but I'd actually prefer, if something's going to be a different color, that it be the button band and not like half a sleeve or just the cuffs on the sleeves or something. So it might work out for me to do, if I feel like I'm running low, I might do the button band and the cuffs on the sleeves so it feels a little more purposeful. But I'm really pretty sure I have enough for all of it. 300 grams seems like enough. Because even if I need over 100 grams per sleeve, then I would still have just under 100 grams for the button band. That would be totally doable. So anyway, I'm sure I will have more of a, I know how many repeats I need to do for each sleeve. So once I get about halfway there aren't any decreases or anything on the sleeve. So that's nice. It's going to be really easy to know how much I've used and how much I need to have for the rest of it. So once I get about halfway through the sleeve, I think I will know exactly, because then I can just multiply that by 4 and, add on a bit for the cuffs and know exactly what I'll have left for the button band and be able to make some plans accordingly. But I'm so excited because if it ends up that I do have enough yarn, then that means choosing the size 4 was exactly what that I had enough to do. I could have chosen the size 3 for less positive ease, but I definitely wanted it to be a size 4, and I'm glad I went for it. So tomorrow I'm going to see if I can get my rearing gear, especially since yesterday being a hard day. I'm hoping that I will wake up tomorrow and not have overdone it again. With a lot of the painting I did today and a lot of the heat that we've been dealing with during these days, it's been a little rough, but we're going to try.